hearing about.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction. Since my presentation is the last that keeps you from the coffee break, I'll try to make it short. And I will go through the slides as fast as possible. Okay, so referencing skills are an important element of academic life. We all know that. And I've just discovered that in my case, students find it tremendously difficult to actually precisely reference their sources. That's why I've introduced a stream in my classes to teach this skill to them. Okay, so first I will give you a short introduction to the institution, to the motivation of this talk, and then I'll lead you through the steps that I take in order to teach the referencing skills to students that I have in mind. We'll draw some conclusions in the end on several aspects of this thematic area. So the University of Applied Sciences is one of the largest universities of applied sciences in Austria, so FH&EM. It's a teaching university with research. We've got 3 sites, the main campus in Graz. In total, about 5,200 students. We've so far had 23,000 graduates and all in all 800 employees. Our programs are at bachelor's level and at master's level. And universities of applied sciences in Austria, they don't have PhD programs. The career fields of our students are in information technology, building, environment and society, engineering, health sciences, business management, media and design. In aviation, we have a bachelor's program. This talk is related to the bachelor's program. And in the bachelor's program, there are 39 places each year, full-time program on aeronautical engineering. The instructions in German. Then we've got a master's program in engineering, 2 years, 25 places per year, full-time as well, aeronautical engineering, but the instruction here is in English fully. So it's an English medium instruction program. Then there is an MBA in air transport management, 2 years, which is smaller, with 16 places for in-service participants. The instruction there is in German and in English, and there are also tuition fees. And the aviation lab is somehow the core element for our engineering students, where the lab is used for teaching and research purposes as well. So what about ESP in our place? It's taught in the curriculum, it's anchored in the curriculum to prepare students for their academic studies, also for the graduation phase and for after graduation when they want to continue in the master's program, in the English-speaking master's program for EMI, or for the workplace to just meet the challenges of professional life. What I've also noticed in recent years is that our student cohorts are becoming more and more diverse. There is more international mobility. That means we've got also always had different social backgrounds, students with different social background, different prior education. And this is also very challenging for teachers to some extent. And of course, it can be also a great enrichment to have so many different people in one classroom. Now, let's look at the motivation for this talk. Having this diversity in mind, the main purpose is to create a common understanding of academic ethics with this referencing stream. It should contain rigorous referencing standards, and the point is to close the transition gap from secondary education to tertiary education. And one motivation is also to encourage students into academic writing and just prepare them for this purpose. So the session sequence that I use is we start with figure captions, writing figure captions. Then in the second session, I'll introduce some referencing rules, then how to write a reference Okay, thank you. This is the worksheet that I use for writing figure captions. So they have instructions to draw their figure, then write the caption below, and one sentence that anchors the figure in the text. Start your sentence with figure 1 shows. The next step is referencing rules following a style sheet. You, of course, need to decide on which style sheet you use. You need to pick that, and then we also do a definition of plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Then students read an original text from their professional environment, and I provide acceptable and unacceptable paraphrases, and they compare these and tell me what they think about them. And then we clarify what is and why something is acceptable and why not. And there are also several examples of various types of quotations, and students need to know about these and when to use these. Other things I teach in this session is the reasons. Why do we quote? What's the purpose? Then I introduce some signal phrases that students can use when introducing quotations. We talk about the length of quotations, what is appropriate, what is common, what is useful, and so on. That's important point of accuracy, how accurate quotations need to be, the difference between in-text or in-text references and the different forms of in-text referencing, and then most importantly that there are no shortcuts. Yeah? So students cannot just reference a full page and say at the bottom of the page this is from somewhere. This is not precise enough. Yeah? This is one of the hardest things for them to understand, actually. Then the in-text referencing practice, I give them the topic, in my case aviation, so world air traffic growth is the topic. They write about this, one original paragraph, and then we work with short extract from a text on this topic, and students need to reference from this text and integrate ideas, materials from this text into their own writing. Then they compare the texts, ask each other questions for clarification, ask me questions for clarification, and just see how others did it, how what I would recommend, and what is absolutely not acceptable and what works. Yeah, so they did well. Okay, then there is also the explanation of a style sheet and sample entries where they get raw but bibliographic data, and from these they need to prepare a list of 12 references, so according to a certain style sheet already. And to write a technical commentary on the effects of GAI on aviation. They get a model text from a different topic to see how it is done, more or less. And the objective is practicing source integration, and then they get corrections, grading, and feedback on this part in a separate session. Sorry. In the next step, sorry, there is a group task, an in-class writing task where they synthesize information from different source texts, and they should also, again, integrate these different sources into their own writing and reflect on the writing and the source integration in groups and compare these texts. So what can we do with this? Why do we do it? We can apply these referencing skills in assignments or 2 assignments in English language classes, of course, but beyond this, they may need it for project reports and presentations in our institute. During the gradation phase, students are free to choose in the bachelor's program between German and English for writing their graduation thesis, and several students always also pick English as their language. Then everybody, even if the thesis is in German, they need to present the thesis to the examination board in English. And after graduation, of course, for work or study-related writing tasks. Ethics beyond referencing. Yeah, ethics are not limited to the referencing part, but we've got questions of copyright, ghostwriting, conflict of interest, research design, research process, and also the use of GI tools. So there's much more, and we also try to discuss these points as far as possible in class to give them a good overview and idea what it means to professionally work as an academic. So what does this mean for the teacher and for the student? For the teacher, it means I think that teachers need to be role models of academic rigor. We are the ones that they see as what we do. They tend to accept as important, or at least as somehow relevant. So if we don't do it properly, students will think, okay, it's not important. Yeah. Then discussion of copyright and other issues in class. I think the evaluation of information is important, commenting on why a student took certain part for his homework or her homework, and so on. And also in class, when you deal with different sources, say what is a good source, in your opinion, what is not a good source. And we need rules for GAI use in class, whether it's whether students use GAI out of class, in class, for which purposes, and so on. What is acceptable for you as the teacher? I think we need to specify that so the students also know what to do and what is expected from them. Students need to be aware of ethics, comply with the ethical code, need to become alert to misinformation, which is more and more important nowadays, especially concerning digital media and digital information, and a responsible use of GAI tools in class. So this already brings me to conclusions. So which skills are taught with this stream? Avoiding plagiarism, an important element for students already at the graduation thesis level, but also beyond. Protecting their academic integrity, producing precise references, and following a style sheet. So what can we say about referencing at universities in general? It's a central aspect. The handling of source material is important. The evaluation of literature is important. And by literature here, I mean everything that is used for creating some kind of a gradation thesis, project report, or paper that students need to write. So anything they use also for other purposes, this can be useful because in daily communication and daily interaction, the evaluation of literature and information is a core skill nowadays, I would argue. The transferability to other disciplines is, I think, obvious. Once you know how to reference in a certain field, you can do it and apply using a style sheet. You can use a different style sheet. So students will profit from this because they will be able to just apply certain principles from one style sheet to the other. If you as teachers want to use such a stream in teaching, of course, it's necessary to tailor the literature to your own professional students' interests, and also the style sheet should be somehow appropriate, I think, to the discipline. But the worksheet that I presented, the phrases in the paper, they are not included in the presentation here, but in the paper. And the activities are all generic, so that these are things that you can also use in other academic and professional contexts. And this is already the end of my presentation. So I'm open to questions.